Welcome to Vision Clarity, where we help you unlock your full potential and achieve your goals. Today we'll be going through Wayne Dyer's teaching on the shift, which is about the meaning of ambition. A lot of people have not been able to escape the cage that they've imprisoned themselves in, but when you have a positive shift in your life, you tend to move to a greater point whereby at the end of your life, you wouldn't end up with the last words, "What if my whole life has been wrong?" So listen with rapt attention to learn from this man of positivity. Do you know the saying that your ego is all about your reputation? So learn how to get a good reputation, and in the end, you will have people who love you. The reason why people find it difficult to get along well with political people is that they are constantly trying to fit their own opinions into others. Irrespective of the group that they are in, they always say something different and enforce their own opinion on everyone. A scenario like this happened when I was in the Navy at the age of 19. I was at Alameda in California, and I got assigned to the USS Ranger, which is known as an aircraft carrier. As of then, it was known as the largest ship in the world, but currently it has been decommissioned. The ship had a CVA-61. I boarded a small refrigerator ship in Alameda, which was to transport me to Japan, where my ship was. It took us 29 days to get to Sasebo, and from there, I took a train to Cusco. While currently in the boat for 29 days, I saw my school teacher from Harvard, whose name is Uncle Bill. He then handed me a collection of writings by Leo Tolstoy. The collection of the writings was called The Death of Ivan Ilyich, and the book was about 170 pages. It was literally like a small novel. Uncle Bill said that if I can read The Death of Ivan, I should try to quickly read it because it will be of immense importance to me. Then, on the 8th day, I picked up the book and began reading. The book was about a young judge in Moscow, and Leo Tolstoy was one of the real great spiritual teachers, but a lot of people do not know that he is a great writer. Leo Tolstoy is a divine spiritual avatar and a master. He was the most famous being on the planet between 1904 and 1905. He was famous before the invention of the television or the radio. He was considered a seer, a great avatar, a great teacher, and a great visionary. He also had a young man who is a judge, and his name is Ivan Ilyich. He usually goes back and forth to work every day, and he kept doing this like he was programmed to carry out the same routine. But he hated what he was doing. He was kind of programmed to achieve great things, but he wanted a change of destiny from the normal stuff that he kept doing. So he hated his wife because she was the one that had gotten him into his work in the first place. So he felt that she was solely responsible for not making him fulfill another destiny. At the end of his book, which goes with the title, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, in the last paragraph there was a short story about how he held onto his wife's hand while lying down. He looked into her eye, and the last statement he said was, "What if my whole life has been wrong?" and he died. After reading, I closed the book and wrote a note to myself. Dead Wayne, do not die while your music is still in you, and I carried that fact with me. I mustn't die with my goal and objective. Later on, it became a part of me, and many years later I wrote a book called The Top 10 Secrets to Success and Inner Peace for My Children. I wanted my teenage children to have an idea about the most important ideas, one of which was the idea of not dying while music is still inside of you, and another was telling them about men. I explained in the book that the man was a highly respected judge who was respected by many. But yet, his question as he was dying was if all his life. That question still gives me chills, even today. But I don't think I would have that same regret, nor would I look into a person's eye and tell the person that my whole life has been wrong because I managed to make the shift. I have experienced this kind of moment before. A moment whereby you are surprised, things are vividly clear to you, and you are benevolent and endure all kinds of these things. I felt like this when I recently left a job. I left the post of tenured professor, which was a very safe position, and a certain income was assured with many other benefits. Various clutter moments show up for virtually everyone, but what these moments signify is usually always described as vivid, surprising, kind, benevolent, and a long-lasting kind thing takes place. When a person is viciously trying to gain the dollar, receiving it without doubt, and you are currently living heaven on earth, it is therefore in yourself. For reference, Leo Tolstoy once wrote a book known as The Kingdom of Heaven. The book is mostly about the concept of having it within you. I am not so sure if it's much about letting go. It serves as a reconnection to what I term the power of intention. The power of intention is not about discussing ego. It isn't about saying that I intend to make something happen, nor is it about saying that I must be able to do it. The field of intention is a field whereby all things are intended. So all you have to do is reconnect yourself to the creative field. You should get yourself into harmony with the 10,000 intense things in the world. And when this happens, it is known as the basic phase of our lives when we all reconnect to our source. Our source of being, Castaneda, once said that there is a great link between you and the field of intention, but for everyone else, it is a rusty link that isn't clean. At times we realize that something bigger is going to happen, so we are like, oh God, there is something big that is about to happen. And we are most like, oh wow, look at that thing, or oh, I met this particular person, and the right thing begins to show up, and we all have a synchronistic. Carl Jung was the one who invented synchronicity, and I believe that it was a kind of collaboration with fate. It would feel like you know everything, and everything is all working in the right direction for you, and the right people are beginning to show up. The stuff begins to form in your life, and then you begin to see synchronicity taking place all over your life when you let go of your ego. Because what the ego would do, according to one of the great spiritual teachers, Patanjali, is just the false self. The idea that what you have and what you are currently doing would separate you from everyone else and would as well separate you from God. But this is false. This is just all about living underway. So that's why there's a Jung quote where he said that what has happened to be true in the morning will become a lie in the evening of your life. And all your life, you're going to see that you are living a lie. You have been trying to fulfill a destiny that has been imposed upon you by all of the people and all of society. But currently here, there's music that you have come to play with the intention that you are going to end up playing the music, even if you take the risk of doing whatever is required of you to get this done. But I will guide you, and I will try to make things easy for you, so it doesn't have to be a struggle. All you have to do is try to convince yourself, which isn't difficult. You have to take a look at the thoughts of the system that has kept us for so long from changing our long habituated thinking patterns. If you look at it closely, you'll see that you've asked yourself some kind of question. Why is a person overweight almost all of their life? It is not because they were actually destined to be fat, but rather it is just their way of thinking. They have a different kind of thought. And this is the same with addictions. Or why do you keep attracting the same kind of wrong people into your life? Or whatever it may be. It is all a long habituated thought of the system, and if we challenge them, we begin to see that all of it is not true, but instead lies, and we are all living in a world whereby all things are possible. A life where there are no accidents. There is an organizing intelligence that supports all things that happen in the universe, and we all live in this universe as if we are little microscopic elements, as if we were separate things that got to do things in a certain way. We all tried to fit into a certain system, but none of what we did was true. What do you think about Wayne Dyer's teaching of positivity? Kindly stay tuned to this channel for more updates on Wayne Dyer's teaching. Stay safe.